I mean, I think the title is pretty self-explanatory. Today I am planning to paint all of my plants. It's something that I've wanted to do for quite a while now. It's just one of those ideas that has persisted. I want to do it in more of a way of kind of documenting my little plant babies, and something like that's going to be an ongoing project where I can carry on adding to it as I acquire more, which I'm sure I will. I'm just going to start with the ones that were around the house, so not the ones that were already in this room, just the ones that you saw me bringing in. So I think that leaves me 9 to do in this video. I have been just noting down what they are, just so I can keep a track of that, and I'm just looking through my encyclopedia of houseplants to make sure that I have everything right. And there are 3 that I didn't know the name of, so I've sent out a little thing on Instagram, my Instagram stories, to see if anyone can help me with that. And to keep everything consistent, I'm going to stick to using the same tools, hopefully across the board, for as long as I plan on doing this. So I'm thinking postcard size would be really good. And I've actually got this really cool postcard size sketchbook from Jackson's. I'll have info on everything linked below, but it's like a plain postcard sketchbook. So it's watercolor paper on one side and postcards on the other side. So I'm hoping to do all of them in the future in this size, starting with today. And I'll be trying to decide whether I'm going to use gouache or acrylic gouache. And then I've got my standard flat brush, and I think I'm going to start with this guy. This is Rafe, he's our snake plant, and he's in this pot from Sainsbury's. I got this for my birthday a few weeks ago from my mum. So yeah, he's one that I have had quite a vivid image in mind for what I want the painting to look like, so I think it'll be a good one to start with, and we'll see what kind of timing I'm going to be running on, how long this one takes, and how long it'll look like the rest of them will take me. But I'm looking forward to starting this project. I'm looking forward to seeing what I end up with. Okay, so here's the thing. I think that turned out really well. I'm really happy with it. I think it looks great. However, and don't get mad at me, is it what I was going for? Not really. I don't know, it's not the style that I was going for. Also, it took way too long. I want more of my blocky, loose, just more relaxed and more dynamic style in this. And I think where I went wrong was a few things. I used a different brush than I said I was going to use. I said I was going to use my flat brush, ended up using a smaller one, and I mean, straight away just started really zoning in on details. Also, when I'm filming, I don't know, I just tend to do things a bit differently to normal. It's like painting with someone looking over your shoulder. And also, finally, I guess just because this was the first one, I was going in quite cautiously, just trying to get everything right. So the goal now is to probably just set up the overhead camera setup, just so that I can kind of get that to the back of my mind and paint more loosely. Also, maybe just speed things up a bit, relax a bit more, get some music on, use my flat brush and nothing else, maybe not even sketch. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I do want to speed things up, get it looking a bit more vibrant and dynamic and a bit looser and a bit sketchier. However, I do think that this turned out really well. I'm not going to redo this one yet. We'll see how it goes with the other ones once I've carried on, see if it does still fit in with the collection. Also, you guys really came through with the plant question that I asked on my Instagram, so thank you so much to everyone that answered. I've got all the answers now that I need, so I know all of the species around me and I can start labeling them and write down their names and what they are. Having a more passive camera setup definitely helped, but I still found the process for this one to be a little bit hesitant, a bit stunted. Also, I don't know how much of a difference switching to a flat brush actually made, other than speeding things up a bit. That said, this one still took just over an hour, which for a painting this size is a little bit over what I'd ideally be aiming for. The little lady that I am painting is Rafaela. She is Rafe's best friend, as we got them both together from the Nunhead Gardener, our absolute favourite place to get plants. Dangerously addictive, but these two never leave each other's sides. Rafaela is a pinstripe calathea, or calathea ornata. She has got these lovely pink stripes down her leaves, so Ozzy chose a really cool striped pot for her. I don't care. After Rafaela, I painted our big boy, Casper, who, thanks to you guys on Instagram, I've identified as a Dracaena fragrance, I don't know, or a corn plant. He was our very first moving in present here in the new flat, and the first bit of greenery outside of the art room. In fact, I think we had him before we had our sofa or any real furniture downstairs at all. My uncle showed up unannounced at our front door with him, and it was just one of the best surprise presents I've ever received. All three of the plants that I've painted so far live together in the living room, which is the only room where Thierry, our cat, gets to roam around unsupervised. We keep our toxic plants either in the bathroom, which he has no access to at all, or in rooms that he's only in if we're in them, so we can see if he's eating things that he shouldn't. The Dracaena family of plants are actually toxic to cats, and Thierry has had a nibble of Casper's leaves before, but thankfully with no effect, and since then, which was probably about 5 months ago now, he has stayed away. So Casper stays in the living room for now. We did move our other Dracaena, our Dracaena marginata, Ramona, who you'll see later, out of the living room because Thierry just kept going for her leaves. So also regarding this snake plant, I know that can give cats upset stomachs as well, but from what I've read, they'll have a bite and not like the taste, and then they'll leave it well alone. And Thierry hasn't been interested in the snake plant at all so far, plus he has ample cat grass to graze on if he ever wants to. It's the next day now already. I think I was definitely overly ambitious in thinking that I could get them all done in one day, especially with the late start that I had. But I am hoping to be able to finish the next 6 today. We'll see. The issue is that it's Monday now, which means that I actually have work to do. So I started this morning probably about an hour plus just getting through all the emails that came in over the weekend. I've also just sat down and planned out the rest of my week. Don't think I have any orders in the shop, which means that I can probably spend the whole day here, don't need to go out. So what I've done is just prioritised this painting project over everything else that I need to get done this week, and then for the rest of the week everything else is kind of crammed in, which really means I need to finish this today, hopefully. The issue is I'm really liking these. I think these have turned out great, and I am now thinking that these would make a really good postcard set for my shop. It's been over a year now since I added anything new to the shop, and I just think these would look great. I think these would be great postcards to send out to people, but also to maybe put in a frame and hang up. So I would love to make a postcard print set out of these, and then obviously as soon as I think of something like that, I start thinking I would love to make stickers to go with them. So yeah, I'm creating more work for myself, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how I get on today. So next up, I'm going to be painting Violet, who is our Alocasia amazonica, I think, also known as an elephant ear plant. And Ozzy named her Violet after the purple underside of her leaves. Again, she's another one that Thierry has had a nibble of, and again, they are mildly toxic to cats, which we didn't know when we first brought him home, because we already had her. But it's supposed to cause irritation in the mouth or throat. Thankfully, he had no reaction to it, and he has steered clear since then, but it has left her in a bit of a sorry state. A lot of her leaves are a bit worse for wear. He would like nibble and then spit it out. But she did flower recently for the first time, which was really nice. A real surprise. I didn't realise that this plant did flower. The issue with Violet that I have, and I'll cover her ears for this, I'm not really keen on this plant. I don't really like her. I find, I don't know, she's got a kind of sinister look to her. So I'm hoping that I'll get to know her a bit better through the painting process, discover a new love for her. But we'll see. Hopefully she'll be quite an easy one to paint, and that'll set me up for the rest of the day to really power through with the rest of them. I think as soon as I decided I'd be making these for print, my mindset shifted. I felt a bit more pressure to make sure the finish on them was worthy of offering to other people, the type of thing that people would want on their walls or want to send to their friends. And that was both good and bad. It helped really put me 100% into what I was doing, but it also meant that I spent longer agonising over everything. So my painting of Violet went decently. I was happy with the outcome, though it didn't make me like her anymore, poor girl. I'm sure she's a nice girl, but just not my cup of tea. Next, I worked on Mugs, our money plant. He was a present from Ozzy's mum when we moved in, and Ozzy named him. Mugs is a name that we actually joked about for our first child, either Mugs or Osmosis Jones, neither of which I think I would name my child, but very apt for a plant, I think. So this painting went pretty smoothly, actually. I had a good idea of what I wanted to do, and I felt like I was able to execute it. The only thing I would change would be the background colour, and maybe the outline colour as well. Just in hindsight, I felt like this one doesn't fit as well with the rest, but Mugs is our son, so he gets to be a little bit different. Then things started to go downhill a bit. There was this pressure setting in, not only to produce something print-worthy, but just to get as much done today as possible. So I started painting the background for the next one in acrylic gouache. Painting around Mugs's leaves had just been the most tedious, and I was moving on to Ramona, our dragon tree, the Dracaena marginata that I mentioned earlier, and the thought of painting around all of those leaves was just not going to happen. While I waited for that to dry, I got started on Jean Wick, who was another one that you guys helped me with on Instagram, a ZZ plant apparently. I don't know why we named him Jean Wick. I do remember that it was a mutual decision between Ozzy and I do know that we had definitely been drinking at the time. He was a moving in present from my dad. I think plants are the absolute best moving in present. They're just the best present in general, but this fella is poisonous to cats, so he lives in the bathroom. Luckily he is super hardy, doesn't mind the low light or the lack of attention or the damp, etc. The painting of him, on the other hand, I don't know, I lost my mojo a bit. I wasn't loving it, so I went back to Ramona. Wasn't sure how I was going to approach painting those leaves, and I wasn't overly keen on what I ended up with. This is where, if I'd been doing this just for my own fun, I guess, I probably would have just settled, but I couldn't shake that feeling that I could do better, so I switched off the camera and I decided that that was enough for one day. With fresh eyes the next day, I worked on Jean Wick again, and this is what I ended up with. I still didn't know what I was going to do with Ramona, so I decided to paint Quinn next. Quinn is our Peperomia angulata, and she lives in the living room in this lovely pot that my mum made. I don't have much to say about this little lady, but painting her went really smoothly and set the tone for the rest of the day. I finally felt like I was finding my feet, getting a consistent style down, and feeling more confident in my mark making. Just in time to paint my baby boy. This is my little angel, Antonito, my adorable little guy. He's a Moses in the cradle plant, bit of a mouthful, also known as a Tradescantia spatacea sitara, which is also a mouthful. And I just love him, he's so cute, and painting him was an absolute treat. I love how the colours turned out, it feels so lively, really strong contender for my favourite painting of the collection. My confidence was short-lived though, as I got back to my final painting, back to Ramona. I spent a little while thinking about how I might tackle it. I took a few pictures to see if that helped. I was actually surprised. I thought I'd mainly work from photos during this, but I ended up painting every single one of the plants directly from life, and I think that helped give them more of a stylized look. And that's the direction I ended up going in with Ramona, but not before another failed attempt at painting all of her. Eventually I zoned in on one portion of her leaves. Why didn't I think of that sooner? And it worked out perfectly, and it fits so much better with the rest of the paintings. So there I was with 9 paintings I absolutely adored, a project that I had thoroughly enjoyed. Was I finished yet? Obviously not. I then decided to try my hand at these cute little watercolour doodles of each of the plants as a whole, just kind of show them in relation to each other size-wise, show them which pots they're in, and yes, I did turn these into stickers, which is actually why we're here in the office. It's been a while since we've been here, right guys? But the stickers and the postcards came today. Look how cute these little stickers are. So these will be in the shop now by the time you're watching this, and this has been just such a fun project. It's given me a real kick up the bum to be more creative, more adventurous with my work, and I'm really looking forward to continuing to document my plants in this way and building up a little print collection of them. So if you are interested, you can get all 9 of these postcards with the stickers included, just all as one batch, or you can also just get these stickers on their own. But otherwise guys, I'm just really grateful that you came here to join me for this fun little project. Thanks so much for keeping me company, and I will see you soon for the next video. Bye.